The Assembly will hear an address by His Highness Sabah Al-Khaled Al-Sabah, Crown Prince of the State of Kuwait. I request protocol to escort His Highness and invite him to address the Assembly.
In the name of God, the Merciful, the Compassionate, Your Excellency, President of the General Assembly of the United Nations, Your Excellency, Secretary General of the United Nations, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, Heads of Delegations, ladies and gentlemen, may the peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you. Allow me to convey to you the greetings of His Royal Highness, the Emir of the State of Kuwait, Sheikh Mishael Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah. May God protect him. His Royal Highness wish you all success during the 79th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations. Mr. President, I congratulate you and your brotherly country on assuming the presidency of the 79th session of the General Assembly. We are confident that your vast experience in international affairs will allow you to lead the deliberations of the General Assembly with acumen. Your vision, unity in diversity, for the advancement of peace, sustainable development, and human dignity for everyone, everywhere, is of paramount importance. It's an urgent need in today's world. I would also like to commend the efforts by your predecessor, Mr. Dennis Francis, during his presidency of the past session. I highly value the wise leadership and constructive efforts by the Secretary General of this august organization, especially in light of accelerating global challenges. His efforts have been guided by fulfilling the noble mission of the United Nations. He has fully upheld the Charter, has always sought to maintain international peace and security by increasing the level of preparedness for all emergencies, through setting up innovative mechanisms whose pillars are human rights, dignity, strengthening justice, and international law. Mr. President, the effectiveness of this organization, the productivity of this organization, is a responsibility to be borne by all member states and international community to address all challenges. Over the past few days, the Summit of the Future was convened, which mirrored the reality of today's world. The summit shed light on grave challenges that require a moment of reflection and a genuine and serious will to reform our institutions, most notably the Security Council and international financial institutions. History is full of different milestones. We would not want the Summit of the Future to be a global milestone that is not invested in optimally. The Secretary General has worked tenaciously, which is highly commendable, for us to stop and reflect together on the path of our joint multilateral action. He has been committed to bringing together the leaders of the member states to stress that the threats are confronting all of us. No country is immune to the repercussions of these threats. There is no way forward other than cooperation towards our joint objectives. Mr. President, we cannot be speaking about renewing international solidarity unless there is a genuine international political will for reform, especially reforming the Security Council and improving the mechanisms of international action so that we're able to keep abreast of global developments and repel any threats to the security and stability of our world. Unfortunately, this will remains absent. We have seen very clearly that there cannot be any political will without an environment of trust and effective participation. We believe that the Security Council bears the primary responsibility of maintaining international peace and security. Decision-making at the Security Council must be based on the principle of democracy and equitable representation of all member states. The Security Council must be able to respond to a world that is completely different to the world of 1945. We need a Security Council that is inclusive, transparent, efficient, effective, democratic, and accountable. Mr. President, technological innovations, AI, and social media are increasingly being used for incitement, terrorist recruitment, spreading hate speech, and mis- and disinformation. This adversely affects cyber security. We must give due attention to this issue. Many young people fell victim to these negative practices. This all proves that confronting this scourge requires international cooperation. To fulfill the aspirations and hopes of our peoples, to secure a brighter future, we need accountability. It is not reasonable to look forward to such a bright future when those who violate the Charter of the United Nations and the principles of international law and international humanitarian law are not held accountable. There will be no justice or equality as long as double standards are applied. There will not be any bright future unless everyone is fully committed to the principles and values of the Charter of the United Nations and international law. Mr. President, this year we're celebrating the 43rd anniversary of the establishment of the Cooperation Council for the Arab States of the Gulf. Throughout its blessed journey over the past 4 decades, it has proven that it is a pillar for stability and prosperity in our region. In this context, I would like to express our deepest appreciation to the brotherly state of Qatar for its efforts as current chair of the GCC. Its efforts enhances the work of the GCC at bilateral and multilateral levels. In December, the State of Kuwait will assume the chairmanship of the GCC. We reiterate our firm commitment to continue this blessed journey and to enhance strategic partnerships with regional and international organizations. We're committed to achieving the noble goals that we all aspire to. The GCC has always been and will remain, God willing, a voice of wisdom, moderation, and a beacon for constructive dialogue in a region fraught with challenges, in a region where change is fast. The State of Kuwait looks forward to the regional and international events that the GCC is going to host. In this context, we congratulate once again our brethren in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on being selected to host Expo 2030 and the FIFA World Cup 2034. The State of Kuwait will spare no effort to contribute to the success of these events in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Mr. President, the State of Kuwait believes in the principle of good neighborliness. For around 2 decades, we have been committed to helping the brotherly Republic of Iraq through continuous target-oriented measures to help Iraq return to its rightful place regionally and internationally, and to help it fulfill the hopes and aspirations of its people. We call upon the brotherly Republic of Iraq to take tangible, resolute, and urgent action to settle all outstanding files between the two countries, most notably the demarcation of the maritime border beyond marker 162. We also call for settling the file of Kuwaiti prisoners, missing persons, and Kuwaiti property, including the National Archives, with the UN and specifically the Security Council following the progress in this file. We call upon our brethren in Iraq to respect bilateral security and technical agreements on the maritime corridor in Khor Abdullah. These agreements ensure environmental preservation, regulate navigation, and contribute to combating terrorism and the illicit trafficking in arms, drugs, and persons. Continuous dialogue is important to lay the foundation for promising relations and a bright future based on understanding and mutual respect between the two brotherly nations. Mr. President. The whole world is witnessing practices that are not acceptable to any religion, law, or human nature. The whole world has been witnessing a dangerous escalation of military operations by the Israeli occupation forces against our Palestinian brethren in the Gaza Strip and the rest of the occupied Palestinian territories, including Jerusalem and the West Bank. Our Palestinian brethren are subjected to collective punishment. Continuous airstrikes are targeting defenseless civilians. They claim the lives of tens of thousands of innocent children, men and women, more than 41,000 martyrs. The occupying forces persist in targeting the facilities of international organizations and critical infrastructure. They are persisting in forcibly displacing the residents of Gaza. Peace in our region will not be achieved unless an independent state of Palestine is established with East Jerusalem as its capital along the lines of the 4th of June 1967, according to international resolutions and the Arab Peace Initiative. The state of Kuwait welcomes the recognition of the State of Israel by a number of countries over the past few months. We call upon other countries to follow suit and take similar steps. The State of Kuwait will remain supportive of Palestinians' rights and the Palestinian people. We were proud to have provided oral and written submissions to the ICJ on the legal consequences arising from violations by the occupying power in the occupied Palestinian territories. With the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan and the Republic of Slovenia and 120 other UN member states, we were proud to sign the shared commitments document to support UNRWA. What has befallen UNRWA is only proof that the other side does not have any serious desire to achieve genuine peace. The brotherly Sudan is witnessing unfortunate events as a result of armed clashes. This is cause for concern. We call for immediate cessation of fighting. We call for resorting to dialogue and returning to the peaceful political track to maintain the security of the Sudan, its stability and territorial integrity. We support all ongoing regional and international initiatives to reach a political solution that ends this crisis, a political solution that provides the necessary protection to civilians and to facilitate the delivery of humanitarian aid. It is important to respect the sovereignty of the Sudan and the territorial integrity of the Sudan. Regarding the situation in the brotherly country of Yemen, the state of Kuwait renews its support to UN efforts through its special envoy. Efforts that are focused on resuming the political process and reaching a comprehensive settlement according to the 3 agreed upon terms of reference to maintain the peace and security and territorial integrity of Yemen. We commend the efforts made by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Sultanate of Oman to revive the political process to reach a comprehensive and lasting solution in Yemen. We express our concern over the developments in the Red Sea. It is important to ensure the safety of maritime navigation according to international law and according to the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea of 1982. Regarding the situation in Syria, the state of Kuwait believes it's necessary to intensify efforts to reach a political solution that is Syrian-led and Syrian-owned, in line with relevant Security Council resolutions, most notably Resolution 2254. A solution that fulfills the aspiration of the Syrian people to peace and security and stability, a solution that maintains the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Syria. Regarding the situation in Lebanon, the state of Kuwait condemns in the most strongest terms the airstrikes and military operations launched by Israeli occupation forces against the brotherly Republic of Lebanon. These operations have claimed the lives of hundreds of civilians, innocent civilians that have nothing to do with the dangerous escalation of the Israeli aggression, which is expanding day after day in flagrant violations of all norms and international law, including international humanitarian law. We have always warned of this aggression and its repercussions on the countries of the region and on neighboring countries. We also condemn violations by the occupation forces of Lebanese sovereignty and any attempts to drag Lebanon into the ongoing conflict in the region. Israeli occupation forces is disregarding international calls and Security Council resolution. We call for full implementation of Security Council Resolution 1701. We're following with great concern the latest developments in the brotherly country of Libya. We call for giving precedence to reason and wisdom. We call for resorting to a political dialogue to settle disputes according to relevant Security Council resolutions to maintain the stability, sovereignty, and security of Libya, and to fulfill the aspirations of the Libyan people to development and prosperity. At the regional level, we believe in strengthening good neighborly relations as enshrined in the Charter. We call upon the Islamic Republic of Iran to take serious steps to build trust and to engage in dialogue based on respect for other countries and non-interference in their internal affairs. Mr. President, through the Kuwait Vision 2035, we focus on responding to international financial and economic indicators to predict opportunities and to turn the state of Kuwait into a financial, commercial, and cultural center that is responding to regional and international developments. Foreign policy plays an important role in this expanded development process. Our diplomacy relies on digitalization to move from traditional frameworks so that diplomacy responds continuously to evolving developments on the global landscape. Our actions are based on a proactive approach, the result of an enduring legacy of providing relief and humanitarian assistance bequeathed on us by our forefathers. In conclusion, the State of Kuwait is committed to multilateral actions and the Charter of the United Nations to ensure a global governance that is strong to fulfill the noble mission of the United Nations in maintaining international peace and security and in serving humanity as a whole. The State of Kuwait looks forward to cooperating with brotherly and friendly countries to fulfill the aspirations of all peoples so that they live in a prosperous world where peace and security prevail. May the peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you.
En nombre de la Asamblea,
on behalf of the Assembly, I would like to thank the Crown Prince of the State of Kuwait.
a continuación,